Okay, welcome back, my YouTubers. So, I know that you guys are pretty excited about this Areas of Circles YouTube video, and the reason why is it's actually part of your homework. So this homework is definitely going to go ahead and help you with the area of all the circles. So recently, we just wrapped up the circumference of a circle. So if we were studying about the circumference of a circle, we're studying about the distance around the circle. So if we actually started at this point, we'd walk all around this circle here, and we'd find out what the total distance was. But now we're actually moving on to a different topic called the area of a circle. The area of the circle is how much space is inside of this two-dimensional flat circle. And we measure that space in squares. Now, if this was a real life circle, this would be a meter. Now, some of you guys are like, what is a meter exactly? Well, this is a meter stick. So this meter stick, this would have a diameter in a real life circle of 14 of these meter sticks. So that's a pretty big circle in real life. So we'd have 14 of these 14 of these meter sticks, and we'd put one on top of the other. And you can already see this is just 2 meters right here. This is 2 meters. You can see if this was a real life circle and the diameter was 14 of these meters, this would be a very big circle if it had a diameter of 14 meters. Well, obviously, what we need to do is we need to find what the total area would be. And we want to figure out how many of these meter squares. So this would be 1 meter square. So a square that would be 1 meter wide and 1 meter long, we'd want to figure out how many of these meter squares would fit into this real life circle that has a diameter of 14 of these meters, and the diameter would be from one end of the circle on the top all the way to the other end of the circle on the bottom. And that line would have to go through the center of the circle. Now, in order to find the area of this circle, we're going to use the equation pi times the radius times the radius. But we don't have to say pi times the radius, because we've learned that there's a shortcut, and we can actually say pi times the radius to the second power. And the way we say this in math is we say pi times the radius squared when the exponent is to the second power. Well, we need to find the radius, and this is for problem number 4 on your homework that's due on Monday. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to take this circle, and we're going to need to find the radius of that circle. Well, the radius is from the center to the outside point on the circle. Well, the radius is half of the diameter, and this diameter is 14 meters. So we'll divide 14 in half, and we'll find out that the radius is actually 7 meters long. And now what we could do is we could go ahead and use the equation pi times 7 meters times 7 meters. Well, if you guys know, we can multiply things in different orders and still get the same answer. So it might be easier to multiply 7 times 7 mentally in your head, because most of you guys know what 7 times 7 is. So we're going to multiply 3.14, because that's the number that we use for pi. That's the approximation, 3 14/14. A lot of you guys like to say 3.14 or 3.14. We're going to multiply that by 49, but we're going to remember the units, because a meter times a meter is a meter squared. And this is what we're going to multiply in order to find the area of problem number 4 for this circle. So remember, we started with the diameter, but we don't multiply with the diameter for the area of a circle. We use the radius. So we cut this diameter in half, and we got 7. So 7 times 7 meters is going to give you 49 meter squares. So at this point, what you're going to do now is you're going to multiply pi, which is 3.14, times 7 meters, which is 49 meters squared. Now at this point, you're going to go ahead and get 153.9 meters squares. So this is what you're going to get when you multiply. Now, what I've already done here is I've already rounded your answer to the nearest tenth. So this is the answer that you're actually going to get after you've already rounded it to the nearest tenth. Now, don't forget what the tenth is. The nearest tenth is one place after the decimal to the right. So I'll make that decimal point a little bit larger just so you don't forget about it. If you multiplied 3.14 times 49, the answer actually doesn't come out to 153 9/10. You're going to get a number, okay, that you're going to round to 9/10. So this is the answer when you're done multiplying and after you're done rounding. Because the instructions say on your homework to round your answer to the nearest tenth. Well, here's your next problem, and it's actually the last problem on the homework on the first page. So this is problem number 11. Again, there's a circle here, and I'm not giving you the radius. This is the diameter. What I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to either pause the video and check your answer, or I'd like you to take out your homework and then you actually check your answer before you watch me giving you this answer on YouTube. I'll give you a second to go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, so hopefully you unpause the video and you're all ready to go ahead and check your answer for number 11. So what I'm going to do is erase this right here so we get a little bit more space and we can check our answer here. The area of any circle is the space inside of it, and the way we calculate it is by multiplying pi, which is 3.14, that's the approximation that we're going to use, times the radius, which is the radius to the second power. A lot of students like to say squared. We need to go ahead and take this circle and we need to find the radius. Well, if the diameter is from one end to the other going through the center, what we need to do is we need to find half of the diameter. Well, what would be half of 6? Of course, naturally, it would be 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this 3 meters as our radius. And now we're going to multiply 3 to the second power. So we're going to say pi times 3 meters times 3 meters. M is the small abbreviation that we use for the word meters. When we're measuring meters on a meter stick, we use the small letter M. Well, 3 times 3 is definitely going to be 9. And we're definitely going to get meters squared. But if you read the instruction said to leave the answer or the solution in terms of pi. So what that means to do is you guys actually need to go ahead and not multiply 9 times pi. What they mean when they say leave the solution in terms of pi is they actually want you to leave pi in the solution. They don't actually want you to multiply 3.14 times 9. They want you to leave the answer so it says 9 times pi meters squared. Now, a lot of you guys will actually put this multiplication dot like it's there. Remember, when you're multiplying a variable times a number, and this number has actually got a name, this is actually called the coefficient. Whenever you multiply a number in front of a variable, and yes, this is the symbol variable for pi. We don't actually need this multiplication sign. We can multiply a coefficient, which is a number in front of a variable, just by putting the number in front of the variable on the left-hand side. And all of us at this point in 7th grade math should know this means 9 times pi meters squared. So believe it or not, we can leave our answer for the area of this circle 9 pi meters squared. Well, my YouTubers, hopefully you guys can check your answer for number 11, and this is going to help you out a little bit, and you guys are definitely going to have a quiz on this next Friday. You guys take care, and of course, I'll see you guys next week on the next video. See you for now.